Well, today we're going to do a little demo of putting the bike in the car. This is going to vary from model to model, and you must be warned. If you're going to do this, you're going to damage the interior of your car. These are the kind of things you're going to happen to the doors of your car if you have a medium-sized, compact sedan and you put a bike in it. You're going to scratch things, and you're going to break little plastic fittings and stuff. This is the price you pay. You may find that this alone will stop you from putting your bike in your car, especially if you have tinted windows. It'll scratch those too. You also will run the risk of grease from your chains if you don't put it in right. And at that point, I always recommend a large towel or blanket. Yes, you're going to have to ugly up your car if you want the bike inside. I have even gone so far as to put a blanket up in here, tucked in between the straps, but that's a bit excessive. On the other hand, if you have leather, it's not excessive at all. You're going to want to pull your passenger seat pretty far up. Please pardon me, I'm cleaning the car. And you're going to absolutely have to clear the floor in the rear. You have nothing on the floor. You can get away with some stuff back here. I mean, perhaps not eggs or light bulbs, but certainly some sturdier items. Although it should go without saying we have to remove the front tire to do this, I'm going to go ahead and say it. You have to remove the front tire to do this. For the purpose of this demonstration, we'll be using the Del Sol. The good news here is this is an 18-inch bike, I believe, so it's a bit taller than yours. Yours might go in a little bit easier. Expect some of the handlebar things to take a hit or two. You might want to check and see if things fall off like that. This is the way I put it in, at least. This rack is a terrible idea. This is going to complicate getting it in the car, so if you don't have a rack, all the better. But if you do, well, this tutorial may match yours. I'm going to try and film this with a tripod. Thing is, when you remove that tire and then you've got to handle the bike into there, there's no real way to set the bike aside and handle the tire. So once the tire's off, both my hands are busy till everything's in the car. So I'm going to put it on a tripod and see what we can get. Jeez Louise. See, that's where it gets tricky. You can toss the tire down, but the bike, you've got to hang on to it. You want to maneuver it, you want to maneuver it like this. This is to keep the greasy chain side away from your seat and towards the back. So you want to hold it in this fashion, okay? Now we're going to come up here, we're going to use this wheel, we're going to put this wheel in first on the floor. Alright, still holding the bike in the similar position. What you're going to see me attempt to do here, put in the rear tire towards the ground. As I said it would, the rack is complicating it a bit. And you might have to lift it over a hump if you have one like mine. Keep that rear tire down towards the front seat. Now, I hope you can see over here. The fork at this point, you have to keep that low enough to go in, obviously. This is the reason you're also turning your fork sideways. You've made your handlebars, lateral to the bike now. So it's a nice narrow profile. This should allow you to get right in without nicking anything, unless you're stupid and lazy like me. Now let's take a look at the bike going in and see just how I'm getting in over this floor. Oops, I actually managed to nick my door there a little bit. Like I told you, it's the price you pay. That rack is making things way tougher than it has to be. Now your fork is inside. Now you're going to rotate your handlebars back up like this, in whatever direction works best for your door. That looks a little tight to my door. I'm going to try turning it the other way. So that's better. Now it's facing in. You have to experiment with that. This is where you're going to get marks. This is how far this really has to go in. And in fact, when I opened the door, it rolled out just a little bit. But the blanket, so you're keeping the grease off your seats. Your forks, as long as you get them in right, are far from the ceiling. It took me a while to learn that I had to turn the bars a certain way. You can also drape another towel over it for protection, certainly. That's not a problem. Yeah, see how when I opened it, it moved. Now I'm going to close it. And so, yeah, really once it's in there, you probably don't open that left door unless you're making a demo tape for someone. There's plenty of room. There's plenty of room to toss the tire in behind there, really. Pardon? You know, and I know, like me, you'll worry about bending these things, but, oops, yeah, now, perhaps I should have added close the door quickly. You know, it occurred to me, it seems apparent if you're putting the bike in your car, at some point you actually need to remove it, which is an art in and of itself. First thing you do is get the tire out and lean it up against something where it won't fall over. So that, you know, probably common sense. I tend to lean it against the tire of my own car or something such. You're going to have to turn the handlebars again sideways, lower the front down into the bottom here, so once you turn the handlebar sideways it'll fit, and then bring the bike out in the same manner that it went in. I'm going to try and do it. You probably won't be able to see it. Okay. Angling the handlebars, now that can drop down. Now I can actually lift up and over. It actually came out very, very easy, except it has a problem. I can't sit it down because it doesn't have a tire. So that means I've got to hold on to it with one hand, grab the tire, which I hopefully didn't set 20 feet away, and lower it onto the fork and set it all up, yada yada yada.